I want you to tell me more about ASMR.
Do you really want me to?
I don't know what this is. This is where people whisper.
Yes. I really got to send you some videos.
I feel like we have a new, it's like a whole new arm of Passionflix. We could just speak softly.
Welcome to PassionPod.
Welcome.
I'm Ali Whitaker. I'm the head of Marketing and Publicity.
I'm Tosca Musk. I'm the founder and CEO of Passionflix, and occasionally I direct movies, and now I want to direct ASMR.
I'm really excited for this. I think this could be good. I think this could work. Welcome back to another episode of PassionPod.
Hello, welcome.
I love our setup. This is fun.
It is fun.
Yeah. So what have we been up to this last week?
Wow, this week, it's only been a week since our last one. I feel like we've done a lot. We locked picture on episodes 5 and 6 of Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Yay.
And we've almost finished all of the music cues and approved all the music cues for episode 1. I was doing color timing all week on episodes 1 and 2. We should finish episodes 1 and 2 this week just for color.
Right.
And then we do 3 and 4 next week, maybe.
For the Passionistas that don't know, can you talk a little bit about what color timing is and what it entails?
Sure. So when we film anything, it's filmed in this raw state. So it has all of the information, but it's not necessarily the color that we want it to actually be finished in. It's close, but it's not quite. And so when you film a scene, you go from one scene to the next scene or one shot to the next shot, just the way it's lit and different things that happen on set can make the color between those two shots not match. And so we go into color timing and we add some texture to it. We match the shots. For me, I like this one to be very dark and moody and super sexy. That's basically the direction that I've been giving them. Every time I see something, I was like, ooh, that's sexy. That's sexy. I want that. That's going to be good. And so now they're color timing it. It's really funny to hear the color timer and Olivia, our DP. And I'm like, I want this to be sexy. And they're both like, yes, that's sexy. Yes, that's sexy. Oh, we're going to do the sexy color time. It's really funny. But it is. So that's what we do. So we basically are matching color for every scene and making sure it enhances the mood.
For me, I've been working on the poster.
Oh, yes.
And right after we finish recording, you're going to see some of the concepts.
Okay, great. I can't wait to see this
fun.
poster.
It was a really fun photo shoot. And we had, I'm really excited about it. I think you're going to be happy. So we've been doing that.
And then you've been working on
the premiere. The premiere. We've had, as I've mentioned to a lot of Passionistas, an unprecedented amount of RSVPs for this premiere. I'm very excited for the premiere. I think the Passionistas are going to have a great time. We've got some exciting things in the works, and I think it's going to be an epic night.
Yeah, I'm excited to be in New York.
Me too.
Especially in spring. It's so wonderful.
May in New York is the best. It's the best.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited. So you're working on the poster, you're working on the premiere.
Yeah.
You're also still trying to figure out PassionCon.
PassionCon, yes. And a Polycon.
That's happening very soon.
So it is. It's happening on April 9th is the first night, and we're going to a Polycon. I don't think we've mentioned that anywhere, but we will be there. So we're very excited about that. So yes, a lot going on.
J.R. Ward's going to be there as well.
J.R. Ward's going to be there, yes. Yeah. And Andrew Biernot's going to be coming with us.
Yay!
Yeah. We're very excited.
Yeah. He was so good in Dark Lover.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's just so great.
And so committed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all over it. I saw he's reading the, I forget which book he's on now. And I know he's read all of them at this point, but he's reading again and rereading and getting prepped for the next season already.
Excellent.
He's
good work.
He's into it. Yeah.
I've noticed that Alex, who is our rage for the next one, he's keeping his blonde hair.
I love it.
He looks great.
And I think he does look really good with it. I think it looks great. Yeah.
He looks very Hollywood.
He does. He looks so Hollywood. Yeah, he's so sweet. I can't wait. I know we talked about it a little bit last week, and I'm really excited for his season.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah. I'm a little nervous. I mean, that beast has to do some things. So it's going to be great.
What things?
Thank you, J.R. Ward, for writing that stuff. I'm going to try and figure out how to make that happen in the real world.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
That's going to be behind the scenes on its own.
My favorite is going to be giving it to the visual effects artist. Be like, here's Alex in a green screen suit. Now turn him into a beast.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be good.
It's going to be great.
I love it. Well, today I'm really excited about our guest. We have a special guest, Carlos Velasco.
Yes.
And do you want to tell us who Carlos is?
Carlos is our director of physical production here at PassionFlix, but he's also my right hand on everything that we make. He is both my first AD and the line producer or producer on our shows. And he was the producer of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series and did such an amazing job.
He's the best.
He's the best.
Yeah. I'm really excited to have him on here today. He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, his office is right next to you.
It is. We want to build a window so we can see each other because he's my favorite. We love Carlos. So let's bring him on.
Let's bring him on. Welcome, Carlos.
Welcome to the show, Carlos.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I was practicing my podcast voice prior to coming here, and I don't know if it's working or not. You guys let me know.
It's working just fine.
He was really nervous about coming on when I told him he was, because I told him he was going to be on this weekend.
Yeah, just told, not invited.
Yes.
Told, not invited. It's more, I'm used to being behind the scenes, and here I am in front of cameras that I'm supposed to spike or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you go ahead, spike that one.
What's up?
And the good thing is that, just to help you, we have Stacia over
Special
here.
delivery.
And she's gonna give you some something to help you relax.
I like to call it liquid courage.
And it's excellent. Great.
Low calories.
Amazing.
You can hear the diddling, diddling, diddling.
And we're doing good. It's 10 in the morning. It's perfect.
You have to give me something to. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get
that.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored
But soon.
yet.
You just spiked my camera. Oh, no, you spiked the three. I'm not going to finish that word. Camera.
Threesome? Is that where we're going with that?
That's what I was. Oh, yes. I'm just going to.
It is PassionFlix, so I think
It
it's
is.
appropriate
It is.
for us a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We're all about the passion.
We are.
So, so we were talking about what?
I'll take it.
Oh.
I was going to see if I could get that.
I got you. We'll do it here. Everybody will watch
Amazing.
me fail. Or is the way that, there you go. Here
There
you
you got it.
go. I got it.
Yeah. It is a light beer. It barely counts.
Thank you. There's only...
It doesn't count on
how many
podcast
calories
days.
are on this? I don't
Zero.
know. Oh, yeah.
0.
Oh, 95. We're close.
Practically zero.
We're
Practically
close.
0.
Yeah.
Hey, so Carlos, we did a little intro for you, but can you tell us, what does an AD do? What do you do with us with PassionFlix when you're an AD?
Gosh, I think in easiest term, you organize chaos. I think that's probably the easiest term to say. It's you organize chaos. And I'm not just talking about Tosca specifically. I'm talking about just general on
Shots fired.
it's just on the day. You're during pre-production, you're talking to every department, you're scheduling what's going to be best for our production to efficiently shoot and get this project in the can. And then on the day, it's just chaos, and you're responsible for organizing 50 creatives trying to accomplish one goal and making sure that they're aware of what we're filming, what's the next step, what props we need, what talent we need, what background we need. Like, it's just all the little nuances that people don't really think about when we're filming. That's kind of what's supposed to be in my head. And then I'm supposed to also be thinking about the next steps. What's next after the scene that we're shooting? And then there's challenges every day when we're filming. So sometimes we might have to rethink our schedule and pivot. That's one of my favorite words to use. And
That's
one of
right.
my favorite words to use is pivot. We're always pivoting. We missed a scene this day because we lost a location or we don't have an actor available. So we have to pivot and find when it works for our schedule. But it's just you're organizing chaos safely, because safety is my number one
God.
concern. And anybody that's ever been on my set will know safety is my number one concern, and making sure that everybody gets home safely after our 12-hour days.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I organize chaos.
That is it. And my favorite, because, it is sometimes I will come to set and be like, Carlos, I have an idea. And then he's like, okay. Let's see how we can make that happen. And then he starts to rearrange the entire schedule.
The amount of times that you bring out your laptop while you're in production to kind of figure out your schedule is insane. And I think anybody could attribute to that. It's just every production is different. You have your different challenges every production, but it's just amazing how like creatives, you have to be able to get everybody's input to see what's going to work and what makes sense and how it's better to be, the best way to be efficient.
Yeah.
To get the project in.
And a lot of, so assistant directors have like a reputation of, losing their temper or yelling, or because it's like, it's like herding cats, right? There's so many people on set and there's so many variables. And if one person is late, that just basically dominoes and it just makes everybody late and the whole show doesn't, you don't make your day basically. And there's me going, Carlos, where is everybody? What's going on? I need to call action. No one's there. And so, but that's not the case with Carlos. So one of the things that I love the most about working with Carlos is that he keeps everything calm, and so I think that the entire like emotional well-being of the set stems from the AD. And the AD, I mean, hopefully a little bit from the director as well. We don't yell and scream. But if the AD can remain calm and just speak to everybody and make sure, because everything's about scheduling. And he has to maintain all of the information from all of the different departments who are speaking in his ear, constantly speaking in his ear. And so he'll just be like, if he'll be talking to me and we're like, chat. Copy. And then he'll come back. It's like, it's quite funny, but it is, it is a testament to your personality and how much we enjoy working with you and how calm you can keep things during the chaos. It's really great. And everyone loves you.
I appreciate that because it's really important for an AD to have a level head. If you come in with aggression, you come in with, I've worked with ADs myself in the past that are just, they're just yelling on the walkie and they're just demanding these things and I need it now and X, Y, and Z. And people at that point, they just start shutting down and they're not going to be able to perform to their best ability. They're not going to be, we're creatives.
Yeah.
We're creatives. You give 50 people a camera to go shoot something. You need somebody that's going to be able to kind of,
rally the troops,
corral them. And if you're doing that from a place of like anger and aggression, like you're not going to get the best out of these people, out of our crew. And so it's very important to just, in my eyes, to just keep a level head and be able to kind of get the best out of everybody, that because all our goal and everything that we're meant to be doing is to provide what our director needs to be creative. Like that's what it is. You have to be able to provide at this moment what our director needs to be able to execute her creative vision. And, our crew does a wonderful job at that.
Yeah, they're really great.
Yeah. And I agree. Even from my perspective, I was not in film prior to Passionflix. And so I was intimidated when I would come onto our sets in the beginning. Not that our ADs weren't always kind, but I am the annoying person that comes on set and I have to say, hey, can I pull these actors to do a quick photo shoot? Hey, can I ruin your schedule even more?
She's very annoying about that. But it's needed. It's needed. It's marketing. It's what we need to be able to publicize or how do I say this to add.
Yeah. All of our promo items, everything, we do photo shoots on set for the poster, for any social media promo we want to do. And it's really important, but it is hard because it's a very busy schedule and it's high stress. But I loved you from the beginning and because you are so level-headed. And I remember the first set and now it continues on every set. You always say, are we happy?
Are we happy?
Are we happy? And it's just sweet. You're always checking in with everybody, but you've made it easy. Even when I annoy you, you're still level-headed and good to me.
But you need to get those things.
I do need to get those things.
By the way, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yay. Can't do it.
Like, I have this snake arm.
Yeah, no, touching on that.
Breakfast beer. Oh, it's quite tasty, actually.
It is. I'm not even a beer drinker, and it's good.
I'm a fan.
Okay.
Are we happy?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to talk about. Yeah. Are we happy? Yeah. I found that term because, you always have to ask, are actors ready? Are camera team ready? And then once you start kind of just signaling each department, there's some sort of level of pressure that each department kind of feels. It's like, is camera ready? It's like, oh no, I'm not ready. Or is our department ready? Or no, I'm not ready. So I just kind of changed that term into, are we happy? And then that kind of just opened up a world of like laughter almost is, because it was just like, are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. And okay, here we go. We're ready to go. So it's just a little twist on, are you ready?
We started keeping a list of your quotes on the set of the Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Are we happy? All right, my friends.
Indigo, our department head for makeup.
I was like, didn't she create a bingo card or something?
Yes.
I was really hoping she was going to create a physical card by the end of Black Dagger Brotherhood.
I think we should do it.
But it was just all my little sayings, and I can't compute what she had on that list, but she apparently spoke to all departments and was like, this is what Carlos says. This is what he is. This is what he, and I'm like, cool. You guys are watching me, and I'm watching you.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
It's a compliment because everyone notices how positive you are. That's what it is.
And his job on the Black Dagger Brotherhood was more than just an AD, because he was also the producer of it. So he had to like his very hard job. So he had to, also manage the money and the schedule and everybody. So he's hiring people. Anybody that leaves, he has to replace them. He had a good team, but it was basically all on him. And then make it seem like there's no stress at all, because then I'd be like, hey, is everything okay? And he's like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's great.
Everything's great.
Everything is great.
It's that emoji of like everything's on fire behind me, but I'm sitting at a desk and I'm just like, everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Great. No, you have to be able to, obviously Tosca is our CEO. She's Passionflix, and then she's also our director. So you have to be very careful with the information that you share. Not that you're trying to retain anything at all, but you have to be able to give her the space to be creative. Yes. At the end of the day, she's our director. At the end of the day, her job is to be creative and build this world out for us. So it's not that I'm hiding anything from you in those instances, but it's just you have to be able to kind of pick and choose when to share the not so good information or the great information to make sure that she stays in her creative head, because ultimately that's the biggest thing, is making sure that we execute this projects to her creative vision, and not only her creative vision, but our authors. That's one of the things that I really love about our company and what we do is we have a lot of our authors come in and sit within our projects, film, watching us film this, and we take their inputs nonstop. Like for instance, like for Black Dagger Brotherhood, my favorite thing is the White House.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I'm able to
Darius's,
you can say that.
Darius's White House. So yes, that one was thing. Firstly, I love that you spoke about me in the third person, which was kind of funny. But I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And I do appreciate that. And where are you keeping from me?
Nothing that you don't know about now.
Oh.
Come on, nothing that you don't know
We
about
don't keep
now.
anything from you ever.
Not that
You're
she
like, okay. breathing, it's going to be fine. Okay, so yeah, Darius's White House.
Oh my gosh.
So when we were looking for Darius's house, and I asked J.R. Ward, what is the color of the house? And she's like, it's a white house. And I'm like, it's a white house? And then we looked through every book that we could possibly find. And I'm like, I don't see anything where it says it's a white house. We've gone through every book, everything, can't see anything saying it's a white house. And I was like, I don't see where it says White House. I'm very confused. And she goes, it is in my mind. And I'm like, and that's all that needs to be. That's perfect. So it's a White House.
Because you had a different vision completely of what the house looked like, right? What did you see?
I saw it more like more like a brick house, a red and brick, like not necessarily red brick house, but a brick house, more maybe a little bit more on the not Tudor side, but not a white columned, Georgian style house. I just didn't picture that.
Yeah.
I pictured it anything other than a Georgian style house, actually. And it was not. It was this Georgian style white pillared house that she had in her mind, and perfect. That's what we ended up getting. But it's very hard to find that type of house here, strangely enough, in Georgia. I was told, because apparently there was a fire and all of the houses were burnt down. And so we couldn't find this white house. And then a week before we started filming, I went to a small town in Noonan, and I was just buying some meat at the butcher. And I was like, hey, did you guys have any like white Georgian houses with those pillars? And they're like, oh yeah, they're like 30 down the road. I was like, oh my God, there are so many white houses. Went and drove around there with my kids taking pictures of white houses and sending them to Carlos. I was like, White House. And so then they all, came down to Noonan, and he just started walking to all of these houses.
I think you were there for one of the days where I went and I walked up to one of the houses and I literally knocked on it, trying to see if
my worst nightmare, by the way.
But
going up and doing the knocking on the doors.
Yeah.
No, worst nightmare.
Ever since then, no matter if Tosca and I were in a car and we're driving by a White House, you'd just be like, White House, Carlos, White House. And I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, White House.
So what we did in this one, should I give away a little bit of the movie magic or no?
I think you should.
I think this is okay.
So our exterior of the White House is a White House that we found, and it's a beautiful White House. And actually the interior of the house did have a fire. Mm-hmm. And so it was completely gutted and empty on the inside of the house. And so we filmed the outside of this house, and then we found another house and we filmed the interior of that house. So there are two different houses. And the interior of the house that we found was a beautiful but old house that, was a little bit, it hadn't been touched in 50 years.
I mean, it was empty.
It was empty.
It was completely empty.
Completely empty, and it needed a full refresh and a renovation, really. And so our art team came in, and very fortunately, the homeowner gave us permission to come in and basically renovate the entire house. And it was painted all of the colors that are noted in the book, and which was fantastic. And I would just create all these AI photos of how I wanted each room to look, and they did it. So it was really incredible. But we had the ability to basically recreate everything that was written in the book inside of this other home, which we wouldn't have had the opportunity to do at any other home.
I think it was really a happy coincidence for the Black Dagger Brotherhood for us to be able to create their world just as we wanted it, as opposed to being confined to finding a house and filming in that house. Because, you find a house, you find a location, you can't change the wallpaper. You can't change the color of the paint on the room. There's so many, logistical things that, you're confined to. And just being able to have, our art department come in for the Black Dagger Brotherhood and have just an open canvas, essentially, to build out the Black Dagger Brotherhood world was amazing.
Yeah,
and it was just it was a happy coincidence that it happened that way, because we were really trying to find the perfect house. And when we couldn't find it, we found a blank canvas where we could create the perfect house. And I think that was beautiful.
It was actually really funny, because we when we talked about finding Darius's house, and we're like, and of course, in Darius's house, we do have this secret passage, stone passage that goes down to these secret bedroom, these underground bedrooms below the house. We had to build those because they don't exist. And if they did exist, I would be very, very concerned about what those people are doing in that house. Like, how do you have a stone staircase that goes underneath your house to 2 bedrooms down there? That's very uncomfortable.
I don't know. We're getting tornadoes now here in Georgia.
This is true. Okay, that's true. Actually, okay, now I'm going to build a stone staircase. I'll build one. Stone staircase goes down. Safety.
Yeah. So your first project with Passionflix was as line producer on The Secret Life of Amy Benson.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us what that was like. How does that, coming into the Passionflix family for the first time, how does that compare to other projects you've worked on?
The Secret Life of Amy Benson was really special for me. It was, coming into this company, it was refreshing. I've learned so much from that project. But The Secret Life of Amy Benson, I had already worked with Stacia, and I had already worked with Robert, and I've already worked with kind of that team on a separate feature about a couple of months prior to that. So when I was coming into The Secret Life of Amy Benson, I already had, people that I knew. And so it was a very kind of, it was very welcoming, and it was people that I had already worked with. And it was just nice to see that the people that I really cared about on this project prior are being brought into a Passionflix family now. And so I really enjoyed it because it was, you know, normally when you start a new project, it's new people, it's a new director, it's a new production designer, it's a new, you know, X, Y, and Z. And so it felt nice and welcoming coming into this team. And, you know, I don't know if you are aware, but for Gabriel's Redemption, they kept asking me about being the first AD, and I kept saying no.
Oh.
And there was a moment, you know, and it was just because with any project that you're working on, you want to do better. You want to do better. And I felt, you know, I felt, on Amy Benson that I didn't do such a great job. So for me, I was always just like, I need to, like, you know, I wanted to do better. I want to do better. I think that's with any project. And so for Gabriel's Redemption, I was always really hesitant to say yes to the AD road. But when I did say yes, I was so grateful that I said yes. I almost felt it like it was a Carlos redemption as opposed to Gabriel's redemption, because I got to work with Tosca, and I was able to, you know, actually understand Tosca and understand how she works, and you know, it coming into a new world like this, you don't know directors, you don't know producers and how they react with you or how they are as people, and it was just beautiful to kind of have that interaction with you kind of on Gabriel's Redemption. One of my favorite things on there, and it's probably it's a boring story to share, but like one of my favorite moments with you on that set was when we were rehearsing with Margot. And it was very late night. It was probably like towards the end of the thing. We're crunched on time. Dennis comes out of the room, goes into the room, camera's outside. Margot and you are outside. And then we're like, all right, we're ready to shoot. And we try to get into that room and we're locked out. And we're completely locked out. It's the stages that we built in, and like we're locked out. And Tosca just started laughing. It was just a moment of where she just started laughing, and there was just like, there was no like frustration, there was no anger, there was no any emotion besides like, this is where we are, and we were laughing, and and I have a video of it too, but it was just like, it was just one of my favorite moments, because it was like, okay, we're just real people trying to accomplish something together, and this is the hurdle that we're in right now, where we're locked out of our room, we're locked out of our set, and I have videos of people trying to opening it up, and it was just so funny to me. It's probably not funny for y'all, but when you're living in that world, it's just like, you know, you're delirious, you're tired, and you have to find those moments to just laugh.
Were you aware of how big the Gabriel series was for Passionistas when you came on to this?
I was. Yeah. I was. Like, I was very, and that, I think that's part of the other hesitation of me trying to taking on this project. I knew how important it was for Passionflix. And, you know, the last scene that we shot, or one of the last scenes that we shot on the last day, was one of the last scenes of the movie. Yeah. And that was one of the most memorable things too. It's like Melanie was just, her whole day, the last day, she was laying on the hospital bed. She's laying on the hospital bed. And calling rap on that day, and just seeing Julio and Melanie have that moment of like the culmination of everything that they've done, and yourself included on that over 5 years, was just beautiful to watch and beautiful to be a part of, because it was just such a moment.
It really was. Dennis was crying.
I can't. I have that
it's interesting, and we talk about that. I don't know if we told anybody else, but because when we started the Gabriel series, we started it with Gabriel and Julia in the orchard. So it's like we started when they were kids, and we made it all the way through to the end. It was really quite magical, because that never happens in a series. You don't start with them being, you know, the youngest, and end with them being, you know, the last scene of the movie. Yeah, of the 9 features.
For Wallbanger, we kind of did the opposite of that.
We did.
We did the opposite.
For Wallbanger, we did the opposite. We ended up going to Spain first, one of our couple of days of filming, and that's towards the end of our project. But what was beautiful about going to Spain first was being able to have the moments, because, you know, when you're on set, you don't have those interactions with actors outside of set. You don't have those moments to be able to build relationships after that. You work for 12 hours or whatever it is that day, and then you go home and everyone sleeps. Yeah. But in Spain, like, because we were in Spain, it was just beautiful to be able to like go out and have dinner. Yeah. And they work differently out in Spain. Obviously, we know that they work, you know, the 10-hour days, 11-hour days. So you had a little bit more leeway.
That's a short day, by the way.
Oh my God, yes. Even though we were like...
And a 1-hour lunch. Hey, we're going to have lunch now. And everybody's sitting and hanging out.
And these food. Nice lunches. So
good. So good.
Like 2 hours after our start, they would come out with bread and cheese.
Yeah. These really tasty sandwiches as well.
Sandwiches. We'd just be like eating these sandwiches. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. But but Spain was great because we were able to build a friendship relationship as, Passionflix team with our actors that we weren't, that you're normally not used to.
Yeah.
And so, it was great to be able to hang out with Amadeus and Kelly, outside of just work. And so it was nice that we were able to work with them, even though that normally, typically, you wouldn't go to a destination at the beginning of project.
It's a great way for everybody to bond. So the director can spend time with the actors, but then the actors themselves, because there's nobody else for them to spend time with. They're not going home to their families. And it was a very short period. We were only there for a week and a half or so. Yeah. And so the actors are just spending time together. They're going through their lines together. They're eating food together. They're going for walks together. They're exploring together. And it really did bond them, which helps for the rest of the show, because they're supposed to have this really great relationship, which they ended up having. And so I think, let's just schedule that we all just go away together and,
I think
hang out.
I'm so down.
I do. I think it was really good. It set the tone for the rest of the show, or the rest of the movie too, because Kelly and Amadeus did such a good job when the rest of the cast came in and bringing everybody in and welcoming them. And I felt like we really had created a family on that set.
I think we went from Spain to San Francisco.
We went from Spain, came back to Georgia for 3 days. Then we went to San Francisco after Thanksgiving. And then
from San Francisco, we came to Blue Ridge.
That's right. We did.
Yeah, we did San Francisco for a week-ish.
A week.
And then we flew back here, and then we went to Blue Ridge, and we all stayed up there for a few days. Yeah. And then we came down to Atlanta. That was crazy.
Who scheduled that?
There was a lot of challenges to that schedule.
Totally teasing. It was great. It worked out great. But I'm just saying, who scheduled that?
Yeah, it was me, but I'm sure with a lot of input from Tosca. So,
well, we also have certain things like, because it's you have to schedule. We're shooting a longer shoot, but you can't keep all those actors on for the entire time. Firstly, it costs a fortune. Also, they have other work to do. So a lot of these actors we had for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So the supporting actors, if we only have for 2 weeks, you have to schedule it and go, okay, well, they're in so many different scenes from beginning to end. So we need to make sure that we shoot all of those actors in those 2 weeks, which means we have to go to all those different places in those 2 weeks. And fortunately, a lot of their friends were always in the same places. So we got to do that. And then, someone like Ryan McPartland, he came out, he only worked 1 day. So he came to San Francisco 1 day. So we have to shoot all his scenes in 1 day. And then Rosalind Sanchez, I think she worked 2 days or 3 days. And so 1 day in San Francisco, 1 day in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And so, again, that's a scheduling joy.
And it's also, fun for the actors. And I say fun jokingly because, there's a range of emotions that sometimes they have to hit on 1 day, and it's just what it is. It's you have an actor that's available for 1 day, and maybe your scene partner for that 1 day, you're crying, you're happy, you're sad, you're figuring out life. And it's a lot for an actor to, I love actors. I think it's amazing what they do. And I don't think they get, everybody sees the limelight, the money, whatever it is that they get, but it's a skill. It really is a skill. It's what they're able to do is phenomenal. And they get everything that they deserve, because I wouldn't be able to get myself on, I can't cry, and then 10 minutes later be happy, and then 20 minutes later be, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. Like it's a lot for these guys to go through.
You have to definitely, have the ability to emote that way, and then pull it back and not let it affect the rest of your day. Yeah, which is very hard.
And that comes from director's guidance as well. It's like you have to be able to give them what is their motivation.
Right. What is your
motivation? What are your feeling behind this? What are you thinking on this moment? What are you on that? So I commend you a lot for being able to pass that along to your actors, because that's not an easy thing to do. It's just be able to fluctuate from scene to scene. So you work great with these actors. You are able to kind of let them know and bring them back to kind of the center of their performance, and it's beautiful to watch.
Thank you.
Because that had been a challenge. I mean, obviously, for both of you with Wallbanger, like you mentioned, we filmed towards the end of the movie first. So the first day of filming, they're, for those of you who haven't seen it, with Simon and Caroline, they're on a trip together in Spain. So they already have all of this chemistry having been built up. And Kelly also has an emotional scene that was shot within the first few days. They had to do a lot, but how was that for you as a director? Because when she leaves Spain, knowing, but for you as a director, how do you work with your actors to prepare them to start? Because we don't typically start
at the end
with an intimacy scenes, which we didn't shoot intimacy there, but
we did.
Oh, we did a little bit. That's right. Their first kiss was there. Yeah.
Yeah. The first kiss was there. Also, there's a particular kitchen scene.
Yes. Oh, yes. How did I forget
that? And so we don't normally start with intimacy because people don't know each other. So that was pretty funny actually, because their first kiss was just very almost platonic. and I was like, no, we're going to do that again. And then it was like, okay, a little bit more platonic. I was like, a little bit sexier. And I was like, okay, great. And we'll do that again. And we're going to do it again. And then we're going to really do this. And then I basically, I do kind of occasionally when we get at a very comfortable level with the actors, I'll be like, I kind of want you to maul their face. and I do have to say, but obviously that's only when they're very comfortable and we have a good relationship. And that fortunately was the relationship that we had. And they're like, oh, okay. Oh, it's that kind of kiss. And I was like, yeah.
One of my favorite things about Wallbanger and Tosca trying to get the chemistry out of Amadeus and Kelly was we started the day with a hug.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Started the day with a hug. And it was just like, hey, every day started the day with a hug. And that just gave them permission to, they each have their own partners, they each have their own things in their own personal lives, but that gave them permission to just be able to be a little bit closer to each other.
Well,
and have that intimacy, chemistry build. So you start the day with a hug.
Absolutely. Because most people, we have our own personal space. And so because we have personal space boundaries, when you are intimate with somebody, those boundaries aren't as wide, I guess. And so for us, starting in Nerha, where I was like, you're past the personal boundaries. Now you have to hold hands. Now you need to feel close to each other. And so, so it would be every day starting. I was like, okay, we're just going to hug each other. We're going to hold. Because now we no longer have those personal boundaries as characters. And so, as people, you can keep your boundaries and, you definitely should do that. But as these characters, we need to feel comfortable in each other's space.
Yeah.
Not only that, but, we're Passionflix. So our features are romance. It's those romantic moments. And, we've worked with a lot of great intimacy coordinators that help our actors feel comfortable on set and feel that they're able to perform, what we need of them, but in a comfortable setting. And I think intimacy coordinators have been such crucial to what we do to be able to provide, the sensual caress touch.
Oh, that comes from me.
That I can't do.
That's
well,
me.
Tosca, but but it's beautiful to be able to combine everybody's work together to be able to kind of just make them feel comfortable because what we do is it's passion.
Yeah.
That's what we do, and it's beautiful the way that we do it because it is from a woman's lens, and I love the fact that it's from a woman's lens. There was a moment in Black Dagger Brotherhood when I was just standing at Video Village. And I looked around me and it was just all females. My director of photography was a female. My director was a female. My script supervisor was a female. My first AC was a female. My second AC was a female. Like it was so nice to see the upbringing of women in our industry because you're used to it's a male dominated world. And in Passionflix, it just doesn't seem that way anymore. Like it's just like we really encourage supporting women and bringing them up in whatever world they're working in. Like, our production designer was a woman. Like, it's just beautiful to see that and make sure that our actors and our actresses are comfortable in our projects. Because
our chief lighting technician, so the person that handles all of our lights is also a woman, and so was her best girl,
Jane.
Yeah. That's also quite unusual. That was really great. Yeah. Great team.
It's beautiful. I love the fact that we're always promoting and encouraging women in their roles. I think that's great.
Yeah. It was really great. And I think we should continue that trend.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
All right. We mentioned that you came on for Gabriel's Redemption.
Yeah.
And you obviously came on after we've shot several movies together. What was it like? You know, we had been used to working with Julio and Melanie. How was it for you? Because they were pros at this point and they knew their roles, but you were the new guy. How was that?
Starting off, it was a little intimidating, you know, especially like the crew, the team, everybody knows each other. Everybody has been working with each other for many years. So, you know, coming in as a new guy, it's intimidating, but they made it so easy.
Yeah.
Melanie is such a professional.
She's great. Yeah.
You know, Julio, as aloof as he is on set, because we have to definitely wrangle him in, and Melanie assisted us a lot in wrangling in Julio. They were just so easy. They were just pros. It was just like, it was a beautiful experience. And you could tell that they cared so much about their characters and the project itself. Like they wanted to see it through to their best of their ability. Like it was great. It was great. Definitely intimidating at the beginning, but they made it so easy.
Yeah. I love working with them. They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I miss them.
We could just do it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I have all those other projects and I like working with all those people too. So
We just have to
basically,
find other things for them.
yeah, sure.
I mean, we're finding other things, right?
Yeah.
We need a Coven series, is what I'm hearing, and then we need a Cowboy series, is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
And
I don't know if Julia would be in the Cowboy series. I mean, he can.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if he's going to be a great cowboy.
The Italian cowboy?
Someone needs to write that. Okay. Someone.
Imagine that.
Joe.
Was it from the Gabriel set that we have that wonderful photo of you and Tosca acting out a scene? Because what some people don't know, and luckily I have on my camera, and you have some on your camera, is that Tosca and Carlos will often try to act scenes out a little bit to help show the actors what kind of movements they want to see.
Yeah, we get to know each other very well on these projects. And Gabriel's Redemption was one of my first ones. And obviously we're Passionflix. So, you know, sometimes we have stand-ins, sometimes we don't have stand-ins. And sometimes as an AD, you're like, okay, I'm willing to work as a stand-in. So there's times where you need to get lighting right for the bed sequence. And, you know, you kind of have to let the camera know where the position's going to be, and you don't have actors there. So yeah, Tosca and I sometimes would lay down on bed and figure out where the camera position is going to be. I don't know how else to say that.
I would be like, okay, this is what they're going to do. Carlos, could you just lie down here? And then he would lie down. I was like, and then she's going to come and then I would like get on top of him. And then someone takes a picture and I'm like, oh.
And it's always at the worst moment too.
It's definitely quite awkward.
I swear there's the picture where I think I might punch Tosca. I don't know.
Hopefully not.
No. Never intentionally, but definitely.
No, they're always funny. They're always funny. We'll have to share that one. And then I have the one of you for Black Dagger Brotherhood when you're trying to get Butch and Marissa ready for their scene where something happens in a chair.
Yeah. Yes.
Tosca's looking at like she hasn't seen it. Okay.
I haven't seen this picture.
She hasn't seen the picture, but I was standing in for a scene
not bad, I
where
promise.
Butch and Marissa are on the couch and
the chair. A different one. You're talking about it. I'm talking about the chair. I don't know which one you're talking about.
On the porch?
Yes, the porch.
we are talking about two different things.
Ooh, what's yours?
Well, the one that I was talking about was the picture that you sent me where I had my finger in my mouth.
That was not me. That was not my finger.
Tosca was not in there.
Yeah, Tosca was not in that one, but I had my own finger in my mouth. Maybe we'll share a picture of that. I don't know.
We will.
But the other one she's
we have
talking
to.
about is it's a scene where Butch and Marissa are out on the porch or the second floor porch, and the chair breaks, you know, and so the chair breaks, but there's no way for Butch to actually be supported on this broken chair. So you literally have me behind the chair holding Butch up for the scene. So I think that's what you're referencing.
Well, what I was talking about was actually, because at first Tosca had me sit in your lap to try to figure out how they were going to shoot it. But then she stepped in and showed how Marissa is supposed to lean over Butch. And it's you as Butch and Tosca as Marissa. And it's great.
Yeah, maybe I need to see that picture.
I have not seen that picture either, but I've seen the scene and it looks really good.
It looks good.
So clearly I gave great direction in that.
Great.
You did. Black Dagger Brotherhood was a little bit different compared to some of our other sets you've worked on because we had to do night shoots, all night shoots. So how is that for you as an AD getting that scheduled and the logistics of it.
It's so easy. It was literally like the easiest thing that I've ever had to do in my entire life. So yeah, no.
Great. Let's do it again.
Right?
For like the next 11 years.
I think I realized why Twilight, they shimmered in the sunlight. It's just to be able to get them out of night shoots. I think that's just literally what it was, just to be able to get them out of night shoots. But no, I mean, there's so many challenges coming in with night shoots. You're literally calling people in at 5 p.m. and you're done at 5 a.m. in the morning. So physically it's challenging, but not only that, but during the day when you're trying to get everything ready for the next day, like you're asleep. And so if there's any challenges that happened over the day while you're trying to get ready for the next day, like you have minimal time to be able to correct that and fix it and get that, right for what we need to execute the next day. So night shoots are a challenge. You have to have a very strong team. You have to have somebody that's going to be working during the day while you're asleep to be able to kind of get everything ready for you. Otherwise, you're going to fail. And so, thankfully, we had a successful night shoots, I believe.
Yeah, we had great night shoots, but it was night, and when we first started, it was night exterior, and it was very cold. So it became like we had a cold snap come in, and it just, for some reason, those first 2 weeks were freezing cold. And then it warmed up, but it was really, really cold, and we were outside at night. And then, and schedules had to change because of whatever reasons, actors, crew, certain things had to change. And so we would work from 5 until 5:30 in the morning and then drive sometimes an hour home. It would take us that long to get home to a lot of our homes because we were out in the woods or whatever it was. I would have to get home, wake my kids up and get them to school. Carlos would have to get back to the production office and then make sure that everyone was set for the day, to make sure that, trailers were moving to the next location, that the caterers knew what the next counts were, and all that sort of stuff. It's all these logistics that would have to be done, so that when we could then sleep during the day, which he didn't do very much, and then we would get back to set at like 5 or 6 o'clock that night and do it again and make sure that everything was running smoothly. Because at 10 o'clock at night, if you start at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, your lunch, your dinner is at 11 o'clock at night. And so the caterer has to be there at 10:30 at night, making sure that the food is there. And if anything goes wrong and that food does not show up, when you're out in the woods, there is no one else to bring you food at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So everything had to be really well organized and planned in advance.
Yeah.
So
Thankfully, we had a great team supporting in the background, Jack and Jillian, who works with PassionFlix as well. So, but it overnights definitely have their challenges. It's more than if you're shooting during the day. It's impossible to be able to kind of foresee what challenges you have on an overnight shoot compared to what you have on a day shoot, because you're so limited to what you could do. And if you need an additional equipment or something's not working for you, everyone's asleep. Everyone's asleep.
My favorite was that with the actors, with all of our wonderful brothers. So they would work, and as they would wrap, they would go back to where they were staying, and they would all meet up at the gym. But they would go and work out at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, because they had to stay on the night shoot schedule. Yeah. So their world was like working out in the middle of the night.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, and we had a lot of fans asking about the night shoots and why we didn't flip to days. But
we
also,
tried.
but also you're already so used to that schedule, and that was the 45 days of shooting. So I can't imagine how difficult that is for everybody once you're used to that schedule.
We had a week for Thanksgiving off, and we did definitely try to switch our schedule over to daytime shoots, but there's so many circumstances that are out of control, whether it's talent turnaround times and crew turnaround times, that it just ended up being, we just kept getting pushed into night shoots. So by the end of it, we were just officially vampires. There was just kind of no way around it.
So turnaround time, what that means to people is that when we wrap, let's say we wrap at 6 o'clock in the morning, actors can only come back 12 hours later. So that means they can only start their day at 6 o'clock at night. And actors, so Wrath would take about an hour and a half to get ready because he has a very specific look. And so that means that we can only start shooting at 7:30. And so if we're only starting to shoot at 7:30, the rest of the crew doesn't need to be there at 6. They really come in at 7 so that they can prepare. And so if the crew comes in at 7, then we work until 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And so it's very hard to pull it back to try and start earlier, because if we work till 8 o'clock in the morning, again, Wrath and Beth have to have 12 hours of turnaround. So then they can start only at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And so it just basically sort of...
It compounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there any particular scene that you had to do extra prep for due to stunts? I already know the answer, but let's talk about it.
Yes.
And what was that?
All of it.
Yeah.
No, the beautiful thing is we were able to bring in, we scheduled our shoot. Or the first week we were just, in Caldwell PD, Caldwell Courier News Office, and it was just not stunt heavy. We had our actors here, rehearsing with our stunt coordinators. All our brothers were here for like a week, 2 weeks prior to them actually coming on set, which I think was great. 1 week, which I guess was great for them as well, because they were able to build that, friendship, that, brotherhood within that week when they weren't shooting. But yeah, there's just so many challenges coming with that. But thankfully, I think our schedule ended up working fairly well.
Well, also, this was the first time that we were trying something different for Passionflix, right? We don't normally have this many stunts and this many unusual things. And so the cool thing, with working with Carlos, was that when I started coming up with the idea of how we want to shoot certain things, I was like, okay, and I want this throwing star to be like, to go really fast. I had this sort of Japanese anime feel in my head for a lot of the action sequences. And Carlos was like, oh, well, that's robotic arm. We need a robotic arm. And I was like, my gosh, what is that? Very exciting thing. And so he brought in the robotic arm team to talk to me and show me different ways of how we could film things at extremely high speed. And so we would have this arm that would stand in front of Wrath, for example, at the beginning, and it would just move so fast, just so that it could catch the throwing of the throwing star. And so setting up something like that, we were out in, downtown Atlanta and some very uncomfortable places. And it was the middle of the night and freezing cold. And we had to spend hours setting up this robotic arm so that we could do this fight sequence, which is amazing and really, really cool. It was exactly how I had it in my head. And so we did that. And then we also did it for, I don't know if I want to say anything, but the final episode, the robotic arm is there as well. And it's so cool to see how things can happen. So the great thing about working with Carlos, not only as an AD, but also as a producer, is that he introduced me to all of these different crews and these different people in Atlanta that can do all of this very different stuff. And the same thing with our special effects team that Carlos had a great relationship with. And so everything that like the daggers being made, they made these daggers, and they would come in and just basically create all these things. You'll see some of them. I can't give it away, but you'll see all of these different explosions and various things that happen throughout the series. And it's all done by the special effects team that Carlos introduced me to.
I'm happy you mentioned that, because Georgia, Atlanta does have strong crew, strong filmmakers, strong, specialty crew members like Moko Quinn that did the robotic arm. Like, it's just like, they're so... Georgia has such great talent that hasn't been tapped into, and I think that's beautiful that we're able to kind of give them opportunities to be able to kind of bring up, their skill sets to projects like this, because it's just everything elevates on that. So
it was really great. I loved it. It was super fun. And I also know now that those things, while they're lovely, take a very, very long time.
Take a long,
very long time. Very long time.
Yes.
So we will have them in the future, but we will...
It'll be a one-day thing.
That's all we're doing, just doing the robotic arm.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about it a little bit, but for you, Carlos, and you've now seen all of the episodes, I think, or most of the episodes, and having been on set, is there a scene in particular that you're most excited for the fans to see?
I think honestly, I'm just excited for them to see all of it. I think I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish with what we were able to do. And I'm very happy and proud of what you were able to accomplish and get out of these actors.
Teamwork.
I think everything is, I I think we've executed everything to the highest level that we can. So I don't know if there's necessarily a scene that I want everybody to see. I think I'm just really excited and proud for everybody to see the series. I think they're going to be really impressed with what we're able to do.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's super fun.
It's so fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And JR Ward loves it. So that makes me happy.
That was actually one of my favorite things is JR coming to set and just being able to see her reaction to the characters, because we had a whole moment with them where we got them dressed up to, their full character and we introduced them to JR. And I think it was very special for the crew to see that as well, because I saw some of the crew members just tearing up watching her reaction to the world that she created coming to life. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
And she had everything, like with all the wigs and the colors of Fury's wig. I mean, like I literally would take pictures. We worked on those wigs.
Oh my God, Fury's wig, we were still working on it till the day before we shot. We were still getting notes from GR, just getting GR Ward's blessing, the warden's blessing on it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We love you. We love having you. So thank you for coming on today.
I am so grateful to you.
Thank you for having me. I hope I didn't ruin it.
No, you were great. Really good.
Yeah. Thank you. Great. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you have questions or comments, we have a phone number. So you can call us and leave a voicemail, and you can also text us. And that phone number is 770-648-3677. So call us. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Leave a question. We might answer it on the next episode. You never know. And then please follow us on the app of your choice. You can stream our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also catch it on YouTube and on PassionFlix and X. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carlos.
Thank you.
Thank you.